Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inferno Pools. This is a show match between Harstem and Root CatZ. I'll be playing Legacy of the Void mod. It's going to be a little bit crazy. Root CatZ is very much known for his creative play and all of that jazz. Fnatic Harstem, known all around as just being an awesome human being, and in general it's StarCraft 2. So we have these two players spawning in the top left and the top right. As you can see, pylon down first. The first thing you're going to notice if you're new to Legacy of the Void, 12 workers to start off, pylon coming down on 13 is the normal pylon on 13. And we don't see the Overlord. Ooh, wow, we're going for Overlord on 14 with the supply trick. Generally speaking, I think the math works out that the 13 Overlord is a little bit on the better side. And right away we have an expansion being taken. Here's the natural. Inferno Pools, by the way, is a new map for the 2015 Season 1 ladder. We'll be using that entire map pool for this best of 7, starting with the new maps because they're fun and they're new and all of that stuff. Also, big shout out to Wise Cracks, who is sponsoring this show match. We do have the hatchery coming down, and we have pretty fast gas, double gas coming in, gateway as well. No expansion just yet. And we are not seeing any drone scout. Oh, is it a drone scout or is it not? It is a drone scout. I am expecting to see a lot more drone scout. Oh, never mind. He's taking the gold. He doesn't know that Harstem is right here, and he's taking the gold directly next to his opponent. This might be a little bit on the scary side for CatZ. This is moderately frightening for CatZ as a result. Pool is coming down. So we have a 2 hatch before pool to start off. That is kind of one of the things that you can still do. For Zerg, it's really interesting because for Zerg, the builds didn't really change all that much as far as what I've been seeing from the higher level players that have been experimenting around. You still have the double hatch before pool. You still have pool hatch gas. It's just that, things get moved up a little bit because you start with 12 instead. But things like, oh, and here's a scout. Here's a scout right here. He's going to know it's there. We're not going to necessarily have any sort of reaction. We do have a really fast Stargate. One of the main advantages of having 12 workers is that you can tech up super fast. You can afford to get gas really early in the game because you have 12 workers mining minerals, so it doesn't cut down your minerals so much to get gas literally right away as your first thing, even before you build your first worker if you want. Mothership Core is going to be out as well, going in, likely to harass that base because it's going to be very difficult to defend for CatZ. He has no queens on the way, no anti-air, I'm sorry, queen on the way over here and over here, but not in the main. So this is going to be, we're going to have a solid, 20 seconds or so. The Spore Crawler will be up pretty soon. Might be able to get a couple of drone kills. Nice defense by... Oh! No, he's just gonna... Nope. There we go. Alright, he is gonna get... none? Yes, that would be approximately none kills. More or less, none kills. He's going to be continuing on. The Oracle's out. Now, the Oracle has this new ability called Stasis Ward. And it costs 75 energy, and it'll turn things into stasis madness, which is quite nice. And it basically freezes everything for 30 seconds. So you can do that to, say, a Zerg economy. You can freeze one base Zerg economy for 30 seconds, which is quite nice. But you can also do it to units, and it's not really a point-and-click spell in that you don't target it on a unit. It is a spell that's a mine, so you can lay it, say, here, or something like that. But one of the more common things is you'll just run in, say, oh yeah, you don't get any income from this base for 30 seconds, and you're done. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Harstem going for Void Rays to follow it up. A couple of gates over here. And we're going to see some of the things of the Stargate. The carrier is new, in that it only takes 90 seconds to build now instead of 120. That is a very significant change. Pylon of the cannon going down. So yeah, this is one of the things that's really interesting to me in that there are two general ways that I've seen players approach this game, and it sort of it's interesting in that some of the players will try to find completely new builds and start off. Ooh, and that was the Stasis Ward. It looks like the Queen just kills the Stasis Ward right away. So not going to work out against Zerg quite as well as it works out against other races. And we have CatZ scouting out this Stargate. One of the advantages, nice little scout over here. He's going to get to know this third base timing right away. Excellent for CatZ. Is that CatZ gets to push his creep tumors right up into the front right away. He's already at the front door here. He could do some fancy stuff like spine crawler pushes and things like that. But he could also just move in and have a stronger attack or something like that. But just in general, not a lot of units yet for CatZ, playing it pretty defensively. We do have the layer up already as far as buildings are concerned. Nothing too fancy. The Roach Warren's down, so we possibly can have some Ravagers happening. But nothing just yet. He's just been able to get his economy up and going. And Harstem has not really been able to contest it, so that's a really scary time, I think, for a Protoss player, in that no early damage has been able to get done against a Zerg player who went 2 hatch before pool and got all kinds of drones up. And we're starting to see a little bit of engagement here, poking out with the Queen. Nothing too new yet. We don't have all that much money in the bank. I mean, that is a lot by regular standards, but we'll see what happens. He's going to be using the creep to move up the Spore Crawler. Spore Crawler's moving down a little fast, and here comes the attack. He's in a good position. He's waiting for the right moment. This is a really nice position for him because he's sort of splitting these two bases apart. First of all, making it any sort of transfer is unlikely. But he makes it by anyway, but he's going to go for the Ravagers, and here's the attack. He is going to move in. Oh, man, and he just ate some huge Ravager hits. That's a big deal. You really ought to be able to dodge those Ravager hits. It makes a big difference. The force fields go down, but Ravagers can break force fields if they choose to. If CatZ knows that you can break force fields. Nope, he's just going to wait it out, and it doesn't really matter all that much. They have a really strong auto attack. This upgrade is going to be canceled. Harstem is in huge trouble here. He is getting charge up, and the charge is going to do pretty well against the Ravagers. Not in this tight choke necessarily, but if you can get into an open engagement, which looks like is what he's setting up for, if you can get charge lots and open engagements against the Ravagers, he's going to do fairly well. And the charge lots are in. There he goes. Now, this is the main issue with the Ravagers, is that while they can run away and they can drop their... Oh, no! Splash damage onto himself. That's the big issue there. But he's going to go ahead and sacrifice. He drops the... And GG's! Looks like the Ravagers are victorious. Well done to CatZ. Takes game 1. And we'll be moving on to Foxtrot Labs in our next game. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the game number 2. Right now, this player ahead 1-0 due to Ravagers. It's Root CatZ, and in the bottom left, we have Harstem. Welcome to the Legacy of the Void Showmatch. If you have not watched Game 1, there may or may not have been Ravagers in it. If that's something you want to see, go watch Game 1 now. If not, this is Game 2, which probably maybe also has Ravagers in it. Last game was sort of... The problem, I think, was you can walk away, right? You can walk away from last game and say, oh my god, Ravagers, Zimba, they're so strong. But really what happened, I think, in that game was CatZ went 2 hatch before pool, took almost no damage from the Oracle, and got complete saturation on 3 bases, one of which was a gold, and then attacked with lots of stuff. I feel like at that point in time, he could have had Roach Hydra. He could have had pretty much anything in that supply amount, and he would have done just fine. And again, CatZ going for the gold. CatZ being CatZ, as CatZ will be CatZ, as they're supposed to be. We're probably going to see another 2 hatch before pool, as that seems to be CatZ's way of going about things. And it's sort of, that's kind of how things go. And we have a little bit more tempered build from Harstem here, going for the 1 gate with no gas expansion, getting the Nexus up pretty quickly. He's going to go ahead and scout. This time he's not going to automatically see the gold base, and he's just going to go ahead and walk right past it. Last time the sort of map architecture did not lead to... Whoa! That's a big scout. So he could be saying to himself, oh my god, it's a 12 drone rush, but you start with 12 drones, so what's going on? That's going to clue him in pretty hard that there is absolutely another gold-based game that he's going to have to deal with. And this time, not instead of the 2 hatch before pool, he's going to go into the pool just after the gold base. So aggression can get turned up a little bit sooner than last time. Interesting, though, that Harstem went for the more economic opening this time, so they're a little bit less different in their openings, a little bit more on par with each other, sort of going for, oh yeah, this is a generally economic opening, and this is a very more economic opening, because he's taking the big risk by taking the gold. But again, we have that same sort of, okay, here's the main, here's the gold, here's the opponent's natural, so you have that advance of creep spread option, and is he going to go take another gold? You know what? Basic math time, what's better than 1 gold? 2 golds, says CatZ, playing the yellow color. And Harstem is going to have to do some more damage than he did last game. Going for the Stargate again. I do think this is going to be the more popular opening as Legacy of the Void ends up unfolding, but we'll have to see. A little bit of harass, but nothing that can't be handled with. Nice saving of that probe there. And we're going to have to check things out. We have +1 melee attacks coming in really early. So I wonder what that's going to be all about. Don't know if we're going to have any sort of Ling Flood action going on, or if it's just a sort of, okay, I want to have that eventually kind of a thing. Melee is sort of weird. But I mean, it's CatZ, right? It's CatZ. We expect this. What melee upgrade? A super early melee upgrade and 2 gold bases. Standard CatZ. This is awesome. Usual stuff going on over here. It doesn't look all that much different from Heart of the Swarm in that you have the wall in the front. You've got the mothership core being safe, etc. And he goes for the Void Ray. I don't think... Yeah, the Void Ray was the first Stargate unit, so he's going right into the Void Ray, keeping things in mind. The other thing that also you do want to keep in mind, so one of the changes in Legacy of the Void is that the Nidus Swarm is much stronger than it used to be, and because it's untargetable while it's building. So if you put a Nidus Swarm somewhere, it's going to pop up every time. How quickly it dies once it is up is a whole different thing, but you'll be able to get something out of there. So I wonder if this ends up being some sort of... I don't know. And that's kind of the fun part of it. I wanted to attempt to speculate, but I'm not going to at all. More Void Rays coming out. Keep in mind the carrier. Definitely an option for Harstem. Just in general. Melee is to cancel 3rd, perhaps. We'll have to see. It is going to finish right about now. Let's take a look and see if that ends up panning out. In the meantime, we do have just more drone production. Not much damage done at all. Wallen is nice. And we do have the Zerglings coming in. Oh, and that's a big mistake. Never want to warp in Legacy of the Void right in front of a unit. They take 200% damage while warping in. It looks like he's still going to be able to save this despite that very small mistake. In the background, we do have more Zerglings on the way, so he is going to commit to this. Another batch of Zerglings here, but we have the cannon up, we have the wall in up. This is going to be difficult. CatZ sees that, and he backs out right away, and Harstem holds on to his 3rd base. That +1 attack upgrade not being able to take this base down just yet, but I say that. Right? 18 more Zerglings on the way. We still have a shot. We still have a shot going in there. It's strange to be casting this and having a chat and wanting to interact with the chat, and as well, this is going to go on YouTube, so I'm just going to roll with it. Someone posted in the chat, no cam, rage quit. And here we go, coming in, lot of links. He's going to go for it again. Harstem is slightly out of position. Hopefully doesn't warp in right on top of the Zerglings. The Zerglings are to come in, and this is going to absolutely kill the 3rd. So it looks like if you first don't succeed, try again. And he literally tried again, because the first time he tried, it didn't work, and the second time he tried was this time, after the first time. And he did indeed succeed. But, what's to follow? We do have the Infestation Pit coming out. New things from the Infestation Pit would be the Swarm Host. It's like a completely new unit. So it'd be really cool to see some Swarm Host play. We might have some Flying Locusts jumping over this cliff over here. We'll have to find out. In the meantime, the Protoss player rebuilding that third, trying to hold on to it. And this amount of creep in the face is really, really frustrating to deal with as a Protoss player. Big Ling. Is he just going to do it again? Oh my god. He's just going to do it again. He's like, what? You want a third? Oh, and he still can get in. Oh, interesting. He's going to take the engagement here. A lot of sentries to kill. And it's not like... Oh? Alright. Takes a safe play. Kills some units. Runs back. I think he may have been able to take out those sentries, but he's going to play it safe. Retain the Lings. Spread one out for scouting. Just staying on top of all of his stuff. Just going really Ling heavy. And there it is. The new Swarm Host is out. We already got a couple on the field for... And it does not take a whole lot of Swarm Hosts to get things done. They do cost 200 gas, 100 minerals now. We have a little bit of engagement coming up. He is going to run forward, and oh, wow, what a nice surround. He's going to kill absolutely everything over here, even an Archon. Not often you get to see an Archon killed by Zerglings, but, that happened. That was real. The Swarm Host, the Locusts are ridiculously strong. Absolutely have to stay away from those. They're incredibly scary, incredibly strong. But you spawn Locusts less often. So more powerful Locusts, but they're spawning less often, something you're going to have to deal with. And just a couple seconds left in their life, and they kill the cannon very easily. That's what I'm talking about when I say extra damage. They're much stronger. But again, Swarm Hosts still got a long way to go before they can make again. So the Swarm Hosts become like this sort of spellcaster, and a couple of Queens being taken down in the meantime. Really would like to see some detectors to get rid of this creep. I mean, this is just free map hacks for CatZ. He gets to see everything on the map and do whatever he wants to do. And oh my god, absolutely going right into this. I'm gonna be able to kill all this kind of stuff right here, and the Lings. This is just Zerglings killing everything. Why tech up and get any other unit when you could just have Lings that have 2-1? Think about it. It's basic logic here. Going a reveal, which is nice. Oh man, and GG. That's it. Harstem feels it is futile, and GG's out. The Zerglings of CatZ reign supreme. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Legacy of the Void show match between Harstem and CatZ. This map is Secret Spring. It's one of the new 2015 maps. Spawning in the left side of the map, we have Root CatZ, who is up 2-0 right now, and trying to catch up is Fnatic Harstem. So far in games 1 and 2, we've had big economic openers from CatZ, almost always taking a gold, and we have more gold bases. So I guess all the new maps, I didn't notice this before, so I guess all the new maps have gold bases in the middle. And this time we're going to see something, I don't know, it's just a trick, right? Yeah. There it is. You might say, but Jack, you're so noob, why would he ever build 2 gases that early? Because in Legacy of the Void, you can. It is confirmed, by the way, hashtag Passion Lost. Harstem is currently in Gold League on this account, so, it's tough to beat CatZ, who, by the way, is in Platinum League on this account. Platinum beats Gold. It's a basic mathematic formula, and it's just tough. You have to give Harstem credit for, going up and trying to fight against the Platinum player. It's just tough. It's just a tough thing. And, let's see if you can pull it out. It's going to be difficult. We do have Hatch First again from CatZ. He's not taking the back door expansion. He's taking one sort of over here, which is interesting. I think the advantage that this gives you is that it doesn't get scouted. But, normally I would say, oh yeah, it doesn't get scouted, but if you send a worker in, you'll be able to know, okay, he should have an expansion by now, where is it, look around for it, that kind of a thing. But, Harstem hasn't played that much Legacy of the Void, so all the timings get thrown off and things like that. And it becomes a little bit tricky to spot things like this, because you don't roll in and say, oh yeah, okay, the pool is finishing up at around 2:45. That means he should have a hatch first. It was definitely a hatch. You know, like, everything is all kinds of messed up. Series score, of course, being 2-1. And because of that, I think it's a better chance for CatZ to get away with sneaky things like this. I mean, there's also a chance that this is the better location, but I'm not sure. The ramp does sort of point in this direction, so the distance on ground is going to be closer over here, but I don't know. Maybe the backdoor expansion. Any proxy hatch, yeah. But, you know, no gold whoa! I say no gold expansions, as I click there, you see the red click of Harstem. He's like, do you have any gold expansions? I need to check them. Absolutely. This is going where? To the gold expansion, and then to the other gold expansion, because he wants to make sure. No golds this time around, but still pretty strong economic openings for CatZ. He's just going to be droning up like a maniac. And yeah, so backdoor expansion for Harstem. He is going to be doing things with one gas. So far he's taken both gas most of the other times. You can't afford to take gas a lot earlier. And he's going a lot more mineral heavy than he has before. He's just rallying in with 16. It looks like he's going to stay on one gas for a little while here. He does have 200 gas, so he's in a position where he doesn't need all that much more gas. And here we are. We have the pylon down, maybe a little bit of harass. And this may just be a little bit of gateway pressure. We have 3 gates. Timing out. The Overlord does not spot this. Ooh, does spot the Zealot coming in. And, ooh, really nice start. Gonna get a queen. The Zealot's coming in. And this third is going to have trouble. Finally, Harstem being able to get some damage done to CatZ's opening. And the tricky part about this is, normally you're like, oh, okay, he'll just be on 2K base, he has all the drones, it's sort of fine. But the issue is that containing strategies become a lot more strong, and killing off this third base, I'm going to call it his third even though he didn't take it third. Killing off the third base is stronger than it used to be. CatZ is actually worried about more strength coming out of Harstem. He's going to throw up 2 spine crawlers as a result. And yeah, Harstem just going to be happy with that cancel, it looks like. Might poke around a little bit, check the expansions, but it looks like he's happy with that. He's going to be moving into Stargate play, as we can see here, as well as a Twilight Council. So who knows what we'll see. Maybe an Oracle, maybe not. There it is. We have had some experimentation with the new Oracle. Hasn't really worked out for Harstem just yet. But, that's, keep in mind, right, sample size of 1. Really difficult to tell. In the meantime, we do have a big Ling Flood coming out of CatZ. He should be able to catch, it looks like he's going to catch all 3 of these Zealots. And Harstem is just going to hang out in his base in the safety of the force field and lose his third. Oh man, this is really unfortunate. This is looking like a very canceled third. I know that the Oracle is good versus Zerglings, but I don't know if it's that good. We only have 16 energy left. It looks like, there's a third. Cancel last second. And forced to use that weapon charge up on the Zerglings and not any drones. In the meantime, though, we have a 2-base Protoss against a 2-base Zerg. And again, this is more significant than it used to be because these minerals run out a lot faster than they used to. Going, of course, getting that expansion back up is CatZ. And just really Ling heavy stuff. And we have the Tempest coming out of Harstem. Really cool stuff. The Tempest is now a fast unit. It's not this big, clunky, annoying unit like it used to be. It's a pretty fast unit. It's about as fast as a Banshee. So it's 2.75. It is exactly as fast as a Banshee. So sort of keep that in mind. They are faster. They only attack ground now, and they have this ability called Disintegration, which does 500 damage to anything over 50 seconds. So really good for killing buildings. For instance, all you need is 4 of these to kill a hatchery. That's it. You have 4 of these, you run in, disintegrate, you walk away, that hatchery is going to die. And you might say 500 times 3 is 1500. Why would that not kill it if I had 3 of them? Because of regeneration. So you always have to sort of factor in that when you're doing the math for what kills what against Zerg. You have to factor in that natural regeneration rate. In the meantime, Corruptor's coming out. Oh my god, and this is absolutely a dead Tempest. Farewell. Doing a little bit of that pooping upon that, or peeing upon it as it might be. Slightly vile, but vile the Zerg are. They are a gross race. You must accept that if you're going to play Zerg. You are playing the gross race. Look at that pooping creep all over the place. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Harstem going to go for this base instead, having been denied here. And the thing about the Corruptor is it's not just an anti-air unit anymore. It's going to be great against those Tempests, but it also can come in here and kill things. Like this Nexus. The way that this works is it'll be 6 damage for 6 seconds, and then it'll be 25 damage. So once we get that, that's it. We just hit the 25 damage per second, and this is gone. So it's really important to be able to get that. I'm going to pull out the Disintegrate. Disintegrate is a ranged spell, so that Corruptor is absolutely going to die, and the other Corruptor is absolutely going to die as well. The Corruptor is faster than the Tempest. So we're sort of running down. Now, they're not attacking. It looks sort of like they're attacking, but that's not their attack. That's disintegration. So it takes 50 seconds to deal 500 damage. And since they don't have 500 life, it's not really such a big deal. But in the meantime, just waiting for the cooldown. Still got 8 seconds left in the cooldown. It looks like this Nexus is going to go down. Which makes me think, you know, this is sort of the question that comes up. Is Polt going to switch to Zerg? Because arguably the Corruptor has become the greatest Nexus sniping tool in the game. You know, backing this up with Lurkers is going to be absolutely awesome. Really like to see Lurkers re-destroy some stuff. Absolutely ridiculously destroy some stuff. And yeah, Harstem is in quite a bit of trouble here. Yeah, the Corruptors are very much like the Void Rays of old. Very, very much like that. But I think they actually deal more damage a second than the Void Rays of old. They're insane. So, this is it. The moment we've all been waiting for. Lurkers. The greatest unit in StarCraft. Period. Okay. So, this is like Irradiate without Splash. Alright. So this Lurker is dead. It's just going to sit here and become into dead. And there's nothing that can be done. This Spore is dead. There's nothing that it can do about it. It's just going to explode over time. A little bit of the Ling run by going on over here. Looks like it's going to get cleaned up fairly easily from CatZ. He's going to use his weapon to kill these rocks because they're very menacing rocks and need to be destroyed. But we do have this is a little bit more fun, I think, with the Tempest being fast. You can do this little sort of kiting thing and killing off all these units. And it's a little bit more, I don't know. The Corruptors can outrun them, though, so I'm surprised they're not being a little bit more aggressive, especially because once this disintegration is on you, you're dead. You might as well be going suicidal directly into all the enemy units, you know? There's no reason to pull back right now. At least with those units. But going to keep them controlled, going to keep them safe, and we have more Tempest harass. So it looks like Harstem is clawing his way back into this game. The supplies have even, despite the fact that it's been a little bit difficult for Harstem in the past. He's making the Tempest work, and he's using it to his advantage. That disintegration is working out well. The new speed is working out well for him. Hydras, Corruptors, and Zerglings coming out from Harstem in the meantime. Potential sort of flank action going on over here. This does have one disintegration on it. You cannot stack them. So I imagine that statement earlier was completely false, but they're going to chase them down. The Corruptors are going to chase them down. It's going to be really difficult for them to hang on in any sort of way at all. And as far as units go, we do have the ground army. We do have like a supporting ground army going on here, not just this small force of Tempest, but we have a full ground army to harass with. long distance mining gas, I suppose, with some idle workers as well. He's doing his best to make it work, but imagine this is oh man, he needs to get up there as quickly as he possibly can. This the disintegration ability from the Tempest is not going to be enough to kill them. But again, you really need to get past that first 6 seconds to deal the super hyper crazy damage, and Harstem pushes him out before he's able to do that. In the meantime, we do have this nice little Hydra Lurker force in the background on this sort of area, and Harstem has just sort of moved on. This is a mined out base. He's going to move on, mine over here, and continue down. So as far as the income is concerned, we've got roughly equal incomes as far as minerals go, but as you can see, the gas is very much in the favor of CatZ. He's going to be able to make those higher tech units. We do have no range upgrade on the Lurker, but they do stupidly ridiculous amounts of damage. Harstem catches this. He's going to be running in here. His Tempests are off to the side. Not really where he would like them to be. Tempest is not really the best unit for flanking with, and he's going to run in and get... Oh my god, he's totally pushed off to the side here. Really difficult. This is such an awesome way to use the Lurker. Such a great space control. It's difficult for him to engage the army because the Lurkers have sort of blocked him off from this fight, and it's sort of this... Using this positional Lurker is just phenomenal. Really, really so awesome to see that. Been wondering, actually, if we were going to see any of that in Legacy of the Void, if the Lurker would, again, fulfill that role of being this positional unit, locking down areas, making it difficult to engage. He basically just said, okay, you don't have this entire army. I'm going to go hollow out your base a bit and fight with your Tempests. Luckily, the Tempests were able to hold on. But he's making it happen. In the meantime, we do have a big swell of Zerglings coming out. And the Observer finally going to be able to deal with these Lurkers without very much, any problems at all. Disintegrations coming down those Corruptors. And here we go. We've got this ground Tempest force going on, which is kind of cool. Not anything that I've seen before. A single harassing Lurker. No kills yet. And no kills ever as it explodes. Really nice engagements over here. Looks like you're going to be doing a similar thing. Oh, but it's not going to matter anymore now that the Observer is out. And the Lurker is basically shut down here. The Tempest's absolutely crushing any sort of Lurker use. But still, we're seeing them get queued up. He hasn't given up on the Lurker just yet. But I don't know if it's a completely wise idea. He is sort of cornered off in this base over here. I wonder if Harstem is going to take the engagement. He is going to take the engagement. It looks like it's pretty favorable for him. He's going to be attacking with this full army. Couple of Lurkers coming out, but it doesn't look like they're really going to get into a good enough position to do anything. The disintegration's on them immediately, and this base is going to have a lot of trouble, especially because the entire force of CatZ has to go all the way around to get to this base. One might say it was a pretty vulnerable location to take a base, but that is something that CatZ does. And he is paying the price here. So, again, the most important base is the base that had the most minerals, and that was absolutely this base. In the meantime, this is mining out. This mostly has no resources, and the main and natural are gone. So let's take another look at that income. You're going to see this number get much lower, much faster. And you can see already the gas is going away. And the most... the two coolest Zerglings in the world come over and kill a forge and then leave, which is phenomenal. Big attack coming in the meantime. The Zergling's not really going to be all that useful. Nice little bit of micro there, keeping all of his units alive. And Harstem takes the victory, clawing his way back in, and it is 2-1 CatZ. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another game of CatZ versus Harstem. Harstem came back last game and made the score 2-1. So CatZ was up 2-0. Harstem came back with some cool Tempest usage, despite the fact that he got 2 of his Nexuses sniped. And I think a big part of that was because CatZ was attacking the bases, had sniped the nexuses of the main and the natural, which were not as important as the nexuses on the outer edge, the nexuses that had bases with a lot of minerals at them. That's something that's going to have to, I think, players are going to have to adjust to, that the main is not the big target as much anymore. It still has the unit production and the tech in there most of the time. But as far as economic harass goes, it's going to be, it very quickly shifts to the outer bases being more of a priority to harass than the inner bases. For the openings, we do have gas before expansion here. And we do have, this is the first time CatZ has not opened up hatch first in this series. It's going to go for a little bit more gassy build. I want to say aggressive. I want to say this is going to turn into something aggressive. The 7 Ravager Rush is really scary. I think actually the more efficient one is the 9 Ravager Rush. Hits at about, I think, 6 minutes with 9 Ravagers, I want to say. Something like that. Oh, Dingan says I'm playing Hearthstone. Interesting. Alright, so we've got the Cybernetics core coming up. So 1 gas, core expand for Harstem in the meantime. Yeah, alright. We're going to see some Ravager Rush action. When I was at BlizzCon and I was done taking stats and I said, okay, I think I got a lot of stats. I'm going to play some games against people. And just play around and have fun because, I went there to have fun as well. This is what I did over and over again, and it was hilarious. Just get Ravagers out really fast and kill people with them. It's super, super fun. But we'll see how we can do things. This is another of the maps with a backdoor expansions. Backdoor expansions and gold bases, not a gold base, have been sort of this, the theme of a lot of the new maps. Gonna do a little bit of scouting here. We have this similar 3-gate, I think, pressure opening from Harstem that he used before. We'll likely see it be the same. We're looking for a probe out on the map. Ooh, and there it is. He does have the probe out on the map in the right position. But he's going to be awfully surprised when he finds that there are Ravagers in his face. Gas count is a little bit low, so he's not going to be able to afford too many Ravagers. I do think that Zerg can make use of a lot of gas with Ravagers. Definitely 2 gas with the Ravagers can be very strong. He's going to make 3. He's going to be in pretty good position. He's got Speedlings to back them up. As well as rallying across the map, which is an old thing, right? Using Zerglings to reinforce is sort of an old thing, and it works very well. The Stargate just coming down now. And normally, you'd just be able to force field this out and not have too much problems at all, but the issue is there's Ravagers, yo. And they can kill force fields. And force field down. There we are. And I think this is just how Harstem dies. This is going to be incredibly difficult. He's running away. He's got a Zealot, which is nice. The Nexus Cannon is very good, and people like to talk about how strong the Nexus Cannon is, but units are also quite strong. His one hope might be to get a single Stargate unit out and micro his heart out and kill everything. But he's not producing a Stargate unit because he doesn't have enough gas. Oh my god. This is really tough to deal with. He does manage to kill... Oh, and he's got it. The Ravagers are dead. And it looks like he's going to stay alive at least a little bit longer, but so much damage going down. And that, by the way, being a new caster is my major caster mistake right there of calling the game early. I mean, it might still be over, but I need to become less a noob at that. So please make sure, as this is going down, you give me your feedback, your comments, and stuff like that, because I do want to be a better caster. This is something new for me that I've been trying out. So thank you for your patience and your criticism. And I can really survive on your criticism. More units coming out. We do have the hatchery down, so more larvae, not really saturating it or anything like that. It looks like CatZ is just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm gonna roll with it. Whatever. I'm gonna roll with it. BBQ Chicken in chat says, how do you scout this? It's going to be a pylon scout every game. I do think that because you start with 12 workers, you're going to see a lot of drone scouting, pylon scouting, depot scouting. Just scouting right away is going to be a lot bigger thing, especially for Zerg, because you can't really just go across the map with your Overlord. By the time you get there, there's usually, or rather possibly already a stalker out or whatever, I think in general you're going to see a lot more worker scouts, just because they're going to be more necessary to get that information sooner, because the decision-making process starts sooner. People who scout sooner are going to be valued a little bit more. Oh, wow! He used up both of his Ravager shots, so he couldn't kill this. He could not kill the force field. I wonder... He knows that they kill force fields, right? Right? I mean... He knows that they kill force... I wonder if, killing this force field was a mistake. Or if it's just, the question becomes, okay... Oh man, there's not as much time to talk as before. Oh, that's stasis. When you're not paying attention, the stasis works really well. That's 30 seconds of not mining over here. If you placed it more in the center, you could have gotten the whole line, but still quite nice. Meantime, the rallying across. Yeah, coming in. Maybe think about doing some more stuff there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the right decision would be to kill the force field. Oh, and he does kill the force field, so that's good. But yeah, look at this mothership. This is a 5-kill mothership core. Getting in work. And so many kudos to Harstem for fending this off. Seriously. Okay. Alright. Here we go. And Harstem has 62 supply. This is phenomenal. Oh man, what an amazing defense from Harstem. Holy crap. If we look at the... yeah, the workers killed. There have been 18 workers killed, and yet he's got 36 workers comparatively. The issue, though, is that he is mining out here, and he's getting there at his second base. In the meantime, just mining out in the main, so we're sort of in a similar state. CatZ going for the gold base, like you do. For a second, I thought this was a map with no gold bases, but what was I thinking? Of course. Just get the gold base every single time. CatZ gonna be coming in, starting the creep spread. By the way, if you want a really quick tip on creep spread, never make creep spread adjacent, and it will always be efficient. So never put a creep tumor right next to another creep tumor. Always leave one creep tumor's length in between. And it will never spread so fast that it's done spreading before it's time to spread again, which is the way you get super efficient creep. The other way to do it would be to always spread to the very edge of the creep. Makes a really big difference. So that way you get the most creep for your APM, which is good. Slight side note, but yeah, like to throw in the tips to you noobs out there, you creeping noobs. In the meantime, we do have another stasis ward coming in. And he's going to get that gas shut down. Now, something that's interesting that we don't know about for Legacy of the Void, we don't know how it exactly worked, is that stasis used to not be able to be mineral walked through in Legacy of the Void. Not Legacy of the Void, in Brood War. Stasis was like a wall. And stasis was there, you couldn't do anything to get past the stasis. So... It's not working that way right now in Legacy of the Void for the mineral walking, but maybe it does. It's just sort of that's not one of the stats that I pulled, and not one of the things that I tested, and also not one of the things that Blizzard corrected us on. I suppose if I screwed up the stasis really, really bad, and it became ridiculously OP and strong, then Blizzard would have to step in and say, hey, this is how stasis works. And we'd be like, oh, okay, thanks, Blizzard. It'll be totally sort of outfoxing them kind of a thing. We do have Ravager Ling for our Zerg player. A little bit longer map. Harstem again, continuing to go for the air. Going for the air tech, which I think works out. I think it does work out. He's had a lot of had a lot of luck with Tempests, but why have Tempests when you could have carriers? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, the carrier builds in 90 seconds. It also has this release interceptor ability, which I'm not sold on yet. I haven't seen release interceptor used in a way that's better than just, microing well. Oh, wow. Totally missed. Now, the one thing that's really scary about Ravagers is when they get combined with Infestors. That's really, really frightening. And again, late game, Ravagers, they start to lose their ability to deal damage and get things done because these units just sort of outfox them very easily. Just sort of, whip, whip, done. You're not going to get hit as long as you're paying attention. That's one of the big things that Legacy of the Void sort of does, is sort of puts a lot of value in attention, and when you're not paying attention, you get punished really, really hard, a lot more than before, which is one of the cool things, I think, about Legacy of the Void so far, one of those neat things that they seem to be prioritizing. In the meantime, we do have that carrier count rising, and we are up to 5 carriers, building 3 carriers at a time. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed. What? Swarm Host. Now that is not something that I was expecting. We do have Swarm Hosts. They're very, very gas heavy. Very, very gas heavy. And these Ravagers are 100 minerals, 100 gas, which is also gas heavy. So expecting to see a little bit more of the Zerglings running around as a result, maybe more droning up. And, oh, wow, you are very much dead, and guess what? You cannot burrow unless you get the burrow upgrade. The only unit that you can burrow without the burrow upgrade is the Lurker in Legacy of the Void. It used to be the Swarm Host, and now it's the Lurker. Swarm Hosts now don't just auto-burrow. You have to get the burrow upgrade. And we have a really giant army. And Flying Locusts don't shoot up. So that's going to have to be some strong counterattack kind of measures going on. Oh my god, look at this. Oh, and the dodges. He loses a Zealot, but not really a big deal when you have 1,000,000 carriers. And he's just going to go in here and dodge some more shots. Oh, dodged again. This is absolute dodging madness going on here. 4 Corruptors on the way, but that is most definitely not going to be enough. This army is ridiculous. He literally summoned the Goblin. Oh, you have to dodge those as much as you can. But, oh, wait a minute. Let's do some quick math. 450 hit points is oftentimes a lot of freaking hit points. Math finished. So even though he got those hits, it wasn't really a big deal. The Corruptor's going to come in and die. Well, that's a thing. And GG. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You saw carriers killing someone, and Harstem did it for you. So go give him your follow on Twitter, @FanaticHarstem. Do it. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of our screen, we have Fanatic Harstem. In the bottom left corner of our screen, we have Rude Cats. Rude Cats is lost the past 2 games. And Fanatic Harstem, as a result, has won the last 2 games to make the score 2-2. And that's all there is to it. So we're basically at best of 3 land, and the last 2 maps after this are Catalina and Deadwing. So maps we're familiar with. We are going to go with relatively quick Gateway. Gateway on 13. Usually 12, 13, 14 is like the super fast tech route. As far as like the math goes, if you want to do 12 pylon, 13 gate, and then 14 gas. Gonna do double gas on 15. Oh, God, wait. Yes, double gas on 15. Red, okay. Yes, excellent. Knowing colors being useful in StarCraft 2. Still true. I'm going to announce the price is right. That will be my next gig. For my next gig, I will be one of the prices right humans. Yeah, I'm just going up there and hanging out with people who do all kinds of stuff. We have drones in the middle of the map, and normally you would say, oh wow, that's totally a drone scout. When it's Root Cats, you never know what that drone is going to do, which is one of the best part about watching Root Cats game, because drones become like the scariest unit in the game. It could very well be just a scout. It could be a proxy hatch. It could be a hatch to the gold. It could be a hatch that turns into something. Oh! It could be just a blocking of the Nexus, which is kind of nice. That's fancy. That's fancy indeed. By the way, if you're noticing a sort of deterioration in my vocal quality, that's because I made some tea to drink for this cast, and I put it in a thermos. And I really underestimated the effectiveness of the thermos that I have. And I thought, oh, you know, it's probably cool by now, and just like took some tea into my mouth, and it was scalding hot and burned my throat and tongue during the last game. So, I tried to like play it cool and not say anything, but I decided to sort of let you all into that sort of action. So, if the voice starts, or rather stops working, it's probably because my vocal cords have melted and are, they're just not working anymore. We'll have to go through massive therapy as a result. We do have the fast evolution chamber again. I wonder if we're going to see the canceling of the third type deal like we did the last time with the fast upgrade. We may. Again, we see lots of Stargate play, which I think is fun. We aren't seeing Disruptor play from Harstem. I was talking to Harstem a little bit before the show match started, and we aren't seeing Disruptor play because Harstem doesn't really feel that it's worth the 300 gas, and he hasn't found it to be effective in the games that he's played just yet. But, making it happen. Forge coming down. Oracle coming out. And we're looking pretty good. Now, if this is let's see. It is the fast melee attack. We'll have to see if it's to cancel the third again. Oracle's going to come out. And as far as undefended bases, we've got one here. He does scout the... Wait, does he? Yeah, okay, yeah. Whew, what am I saying? He scouted that a billion years ago. He does scout the Stargate, so he knows it's coming. He should have the Spore Crawlers up in time. This is nice. This is sort of like a zoning, don't run, you shall not pass through this corridor, Gandalf Spore Crawler over here. A little bit of juking action going over here between the queens. More zoning action, stay away from my base, etc. Was a bit of a vulnerability over here. It's mostly cleaned up. The stream is not JaKaTak SC2. The stream is dingit.tv/JaKaTaKtv. And that is why the stream is not working for you. So, Oracle coming in from the right side, and yeah, gonna get some kills in there. 4 kills, and that is all. Run in, run out, get some kills, do your thing. A little more scouting from CatZ, trying to feel out what's going on. We are 7 minutes into the game, and CatZ hasn't taken gold base yet, so, so far in the games, this is math, right? StarCraft is math. When CatZ takes a quick gold base, he wins 100% of the time in all the games that I've seen. And when he doesn't, he loses in 100% of the games that I've seen. So, as a result, we know for sure, due to our large and useful sample size, that Harstem will absolutely win this game. Oh my god, 4 oracles ripping things into tiny bite-sized shreds. And it doesn't matter what's going on. There's no more transfuse. 1 oracle goes down, but it's still ridiculously scary. Many queens become into dead and counterattack. In the meantime, being held off, is he going to have the presence of mind to drop another force field? Let's take a look. He is doing a little bit of micro on the other side. Yes, there's the other force field. The third base, however, is canceled. So despite the fact of that massive oracle attack, Root CatZ still does what he set out to do, what he likely set out to do, which is to cancel the third base. And he's going to go in here and attack. Oh, not enough for another force field. He does have enough to activate the weapon of his oracle and attack a little bit here. Second oracle coming out, and more lings flooding in. This is getting a little bit more scary. The Nexus Cannon is up, but it is not doing anything for a while. We do have more oracles over here, but energy is really low, and this is getting frightening. What is the response? What is he going to do? At home, he's warping in a bunch of gateways, hopefully to get some units up quickly. Insecticide in the chat reminding us all that correlation equals causation, one of the very important scientific facts of life. The correlation and causation are exactly the same. Very important to know. And here we are. Shout out, by the way, to Green Tea AI. Now that we've been talking about tea a little bit in the chat, Green Tea AI is phenomenal and awesome and all other things with positive words attached to them. Man, the canceling of the third. This is working out really well in Legacy of the Void. I don't know how well it works out in Heart of the Swarm because I've been in Legacy of the Void mode for the past, 2 months. But, 2 months? My God, that was incorrect. 1 month. Before you correct me, I correct myself. 1 month. It feels like forever, though. It feels like I've been in the Legacy of the Void rabbit hole for, eons. It is a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Come hang out with us. Alright. So, Infestation Pit. And this time we are seeing the Infestor. Infestors do have a new spell. It's called Aggressive Mutation. Oh, and you can't see it right now because he burrowed, but it's called Aggressive Mutation. It does not look like that's what he's going for here, but it is a thing to be gone for. On the other side, we have the Oracles. The detection is a little bit different. The Revelation is a little bit different. Ooh, nice. The detection for Oracles now sort of is a combination of what it used to be. Instead of turning the Oracle into a detector, it throws out the Revelation, and the Revelation also detects. So you have to sort of tag units, and then they remain detected for a long period of time. It's sort of an interesting and somewhat different way to do detection. And I believe actually that happened before, but unintentionally. It tagged burrowed units before unintentionally. Oh, no, he is using Aggressive Mutation. All of these Zerglings are going to do way more damage than you're used to. Here comes the attack, and everything begins to evaporate into small, tiny, bite-sized pieces as you. Oh my God, the damages. If I was Dustin Browder, I would say something about terrible, terrible damages, but I'm not Dustin Browder, I'm JaKaTaK, so I'm going to say tiny, bite-sized pieces of death. He manages to hold it off, however. Wasn't really expecting that, to be honest, based on my commentary, but that's the way it goes. Sometimes things don't go the way you like, and for CatZ, that did not go the way he liked. I'm sure he would have liked an 18 millionth cancel on that Harstem. By the way, 18 millionth, I have been counting. That is the number of cancels he has done so far in this series. Hatchery down. Not going to go for a hatchery snipe with 4 oracles, but I think one of the cool things about this game is Harstem has managed to keep a lot of his oracles alive for a long time, which is quite nice. Insecticide asks, can you tag creep tumors with the Oracle's Revelation? The answer to that question is yes, you can. You can indeed. And here we go. We have more of the... Oh, I know why it's not working. I know why it didn't work out the way. Alright, so the reason why that battle did not work out the way I expected it to, and probably the way that CatZ expected it to, because you'll notice this... The sort of graphic that went down for the Zerglings disappeared really quickly. The Aggressive Mutation does not last long. It's really something that's meant to be cast in battle rather than before it. So by the time the Zerglings were engaging, they actually didn't get a lot of that benefit. We do see this Disruptor, though. We did see it explode a little bit there. We did see it explode a little tiny bit there. And... it is not enough. CatZ wins, and now the score is 3-2. And we are at match point. Root CatZ up 2-3. The map is Catalina. We are playing Legacy of the Void, and this is the show match between the person spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen, Root CatZ, and in the top left-hand corner of our screen, we've got Harstem. Harstem was the victim of many, many Zergling deaths to his third base. That has been the story of this show match overall. Root CatZ defying science and winning despite the fact that he didn't take a fast gold base. So A lot of interesting things going on here. We did get to see a little bit of Disruptor. Harstem saying before, not really his thing. Not really digging the Disruptor so far. Just because of its cost. It's hard to be cost efficient with a 300 gas unit. But, you know, we're going to have to see how things work out. It's potential Super Greed. Potential double hatch before pool from CatZ. Actually, the cat, when you're talking about CatZ, right, that's not even Super Greed. Super Greed is like 4 hatches before you build a spawning pool, you know? But this drone here went into the base, I think. Ooh, yes indeed. Now, is this a scout? Or is this a sneaky drone? It's just a scout. You never know. You never know. Gotta keep that in mind. He scouts, aha! I see you have not taken a base yet. I will take a base for you. Ha 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 ha. Excellent. Because, you know, the best way to block a hatchery, to block an expansion rather, is with your own expansion. There is no stronger way to do it. And he's going to be sending 5 probes. I'm quite sure that's not enough. Because it's just going to hover around 300. Oh, Zealot, there we go. With the Zealot, he'll be fine. No worries. But an extremely delayed expansion. And this hatchery has been going down for, you know, almost a minute. So this is like, you have about 50 minerals per worker there. So it's about 250 minerals of lost mining time from Harstem. So pretty nice job overall. So you don't get that pure, okay, just mineral wise, I took advantage. Oh wait, no, he canceled it. Oh my god. So it's 50 minerals, 75 minerals, 100. He got 2 for 1. That's a 2 for 1, yo. In Hearthstone terms, he just got a 2 for 1, man. He spent 125 minerals to force Harstem to lose 250 minerals. So good. So good. And, back at home, he's got the base up. But this is what I love. Love this. So much money got put into taking that extra expansion over here that Harstem is going to take advantage and run in with a couple of the first units. And this is so... I love every bit of this. I love really early engagements, bits of harass, couple of units fighting here and there, small little skirmishes, and a lot of that happens in Legacy of the Void custom, a lot more so than it happened in Heart of the Swarm. Now, it's important, I think, not to get ahead of ourselves in that it's not necessarily because it's Legacy of the Void. It might just because it's a new game. You'll probably remember if you watch Wings of Liberty. In Wings of Liberty in the very beginning, it was very scrappy and you know, you could take a couple of units and do damage and go back and forth. And as the game gets figured out, that becomes potentially less and less viable, and people move more into the, okay, we sort of macro up and gentleman's agreement, you know, no rush, 20 minutes, and then get into it. But I don't think that's going to happen in Legacy of the Void. I mean, it's not 100% definitely going to happen just because we're seeing it in the beginning, but, you know, that's just sort of my feel on it so far, and it'll be really interesting to see how this ends up working out long term. Forces the force field down, and he's not really going to push the issue any further, and the Stargate's coming out. This time, though, interesting. Thank you, Root Cats, for always keeping it interesting. Throws down the Baneling Nest, so we may see Roach Bane all in of death in this vicinity. Or we may just see... No, I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see some Roach Baneling of death. And I do that because of my astute observation of seeing a Baneling nest in a Roach Warren. Some high-level analysis right there. Super duper high level. You got to watch out for it. You know, doing the basic spreading of the creep. We have Phoenix coming out. And we have Phoenix already out, so... This is a new route for Harstem in this series. Haven't seen him gone straight for the Phoenix just yet. Actually, this might be the first Phoenix, real Phoenix, that we've seen in this series. Now that I'm thinking about it properly. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Goes over to C. I will cancel your third. And Harstem says, well, I have a counter to you canceling my third. I will not take it. when you expect. I will take it moments later. Yes. We're in a pretty good position. We got a lot of force fields. This is a 2 force field ramp. If I remember correctly, which I believe I do. This looks like a lot more than 2, however. Should be able to hold this off. Got about 6 force fields hanging out, so we should be fine. The Zerglings have gone home. They've given up. They said, oh, forget this. And, ooh. So they have, basically, CatZ decided this game, Ravager, Baneling, I'm just going to build everything that's really good at killing stuff that doesn't move. Baneling's awesome at killing stuff that doesn't move. Ravager is awesome at killing stuff that doesn't move. If you are a bio player, and you're playing Terran, and you don't move, Zerg are just, they're really, really going to kill you. And they used to before, but now they're going to kill you harder. And there's nothing worse than being killed harder than you've already been killed when you've been killed so hard already. You know, it's just unfortunate situation as a Terran player. You know, got to make it relevant. There's no Terrans playing in this game, so let's mention the poor Terrans. Here we go, and the giant attack is seen. Now, Ravagers have an option to absolutely kill this Phoenix because it's not able to move. Very easily dodged there. Excellent job. But he's just going to go ahead and go with the attack. He's got a lot of forces here. The Warpins are coming in, going with Stalkers. He has Void Rays coming out. 25 Banelings. My god, that's a lot of Banelings. This is going to be incredibly frightening for... Ooh, Harstem? I don't know. These Phoenixes are doing work. The Banelings are definitely going to kill a lot of stuff. Force fields? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Death of the force fields. The tricky part is you have to land and kill the force fields without killing your own Banelings, which is a little bit on the tough side. He's going to run in here, and the Banelings are going to come in. I don't think they're going to go straight for the Nexus because they don't really have enough to kill it, and this is well defended. Well met by our Fnatic Harstem. He got... Oh, you have to look! Looking is important. Attention is so, so important. The Phoenix opening, doing really well this game. Really doing excellently. A couple of the Zerglings coming in. This is interesting. I don't think it's going to do anything. He might be just looking for a run-by or some kind of free damage, but Harstem is a brick wall. You're not getting in. You're not getting in at all. I'm a big fan of Zay Frank. Sometimes I slip into Zay Frank. I am working on True Facts StarCraft edition. So like, here we'll explore true facts about the Marine. The Marine is the highest DPS unit per square foot in the game. And things like that. I am working on my Zay Frank impression. It's okay right now, but I think it could be better. But yeah, this Phoenix opening working really well. For Harstem, getting some damage in, getting some scouting. He knows he's doing denies, moving into the Templar tech, which is going to be a lot of fun. Templars are probably some of my favorite units in the game. I got a lot of favorite units, to be certain. But yeah, we are looking. It's sort of interesting that a lot of the games, I'm wondering how this is going to work out. A lot of the games Legacy of Void that I watch end up being like this rotating 2-base economy thing, where it's like, okay, you're on 2 bases, and then you expand, and you're kind of on 3 bases for a little bit, but then you have to transfer because you mine out. What? Why does it say 16-3? Oh god, there it is. Mildly inefficient mining. Welcome to Mildly Inefficient Mining. I'm your host, JaKaTaK, where the mining here is mildly inefficient, and we're just going to watch that die. No, we're not. Phoenixes dealing the damages like they do. Lots of things killed. Let's take a look at the things killed tab, and it looks like 12 of the things of the workers have been... Oh my god, 88 units killed. A lot of dead Banelings? Man, that's a fast fact I have to look up. Do Banelings count? In this screen, do Banelings count? I don't know. Moving into the Hydra tech to deal with this air menace. We're going to be careful, though. If you get enough Phoenixes, you can actually deal with Hydras pretty well. +3 already on the way. Really staying on top of his upgrades this game is Harstem. And yeah, more bases being taken. He is going to manage to get up to that 3-base economy, but again, you can only have that 3-base economy for a little while, and then you get mined out, and you're back to 2 again. Keeps happening. A lot of Archons going to work out well against the Banelings, but he's going to pull back. Wow. Oh, wow. That was very much of harass. Excellent very much of harasses, Mr. Harstem. Ooh, this is very vulnerable. Or you could kill things here. Things could be coming to dead now. Harstem, become them into dead. I am become dead. Alright. A little bit missed opportunity there. A little bit small missed opportunity there. But ends up being okay. Another base getting taken for Harstem. Really going into like this long knockout, drag-out fight. The Warp Prism on the way. Wonder if we're going to see some Storm drops. Likely not. Likely not Swarm Homes. And I'd like to mention something from the chat. Crowbolt says, I just realized we've seen no death balls so far this series. That's right. You haven't. And from my experience, and I've done a lot of watching of Legacy of the Void games and playing of Legacy of the Void games. I've just been in the Legacy of the Void hole, like I've said, for the past month or so. And I don't see very many death ball-y games unless it's like a silver versus gold match and they're too afraid to attack each other and they just build up an army and then attack each other kind of a thing. But like most games, you just don't see the death balls really come up. Which is kind of cool. Saying that though, we have built up to pretty large armies. We are finally hitting max for Harstem. He's going to go ahead and move out. It's going to be interesting. He's trying to set up a nice... He does have a little bit of a potential concave setup for this area. But nothing's going to come out of it. Because things are coming out of this area over here. He's going to pull back. No detection, again. Right? Am I right? I don't see an observer. Sometimes they trick me and I can't see them yet. There is one observer. There it is. Okay. There it is. He just wasn't attacking this creep tumor and I was like, what? What is all of that? What? But lots of Archon Storms coming up. The upgrades are coming down. He's still going for the Ravagers. And he has the Banelings being adorable and rolling around like little roly-poly bugs. Like you do. And we do have single disruptor drop. Let's take a look. Keep in mind the Warp Prism can pick things up from further away. And it all dies. Excellent. And leaving. The workers killed is getting quite ridiculous. 39 workers killed. Current workers count 63 to 73. And big attack coming in here. Ravagers doing what Ravagers do best, which is kill things that don't move. And the Hydras really back up the Ravagers really well because one of the best things... Oh my god! The storms! The storms! Oh my god, the storms! A lot of the Banelings still alive, though. I was expecting a lot more dead Banelings after that. He's chasing him in. Oh my god, those are the most, like, ballsy... They're the most zealoty, or zealousy, or zealous. English! English is a language. And I speak it as my first language, believe it or not. And they're really zealous High Templar running in there and killing things. But it looks like he pushed off the attack to some extent. Banelings do not do well against the Archons. It's not a cost-efficient way to deal with them, but holy crap! The army of CatZ is really big. It's going to be difficult to deal with, especially with that disengagement there. In the meantime, we have 10 Zealots warping in, and keep in mind they warp in slower, so you really have to be more on top of your warp-ins as a Protoss player in Legacy of the Void. It's more important than it used to be. Going to lose this basically for free, down to 4 Phoenix, and he's building an Immortal, which is probably going to do really well. And we've lost all anti-air except for the Ravager shots. As long as he pays attention, as long as Harstem pays attention... Ooh, he's just going to lift everything up. I guess it sort of delays... Oh, this is nice. It kind of delays them from doing anything against the Void Ray. But I think maybe just killing them one at a time might be a little bit better way to do it. And yeah, I'm surprised he's pulling back here. There wasn't that many units here to be afraid of. I wonder if that was a mistake. That was a really strange move for me. It's a really strange move for me. By this way, the disruptor right over here. I'm gonna have to try and keep my eye on that. He is pulling it back for defense. Yeah, I guess he killed the Nexus and he didn't want to overextend. Seems reasonable. Seems like a reasonable move. Nice dodges over here. Oh my god! Oh! And he picks it up. Oh, he doesn't pick it up. The timing on that has to be really perfect. If you're going to do the disruptor harass, you have to really time it out. You have to know when. So as soon as it's done, being invulnerable, you pick it up and you get out of there. He's pushed that back into a bit of a corner. This is sort of funny. Does he not see the base? CatZ. He knows about the base. He's just letting it live. Come with me if you want to live, he says. And going into more swarm host action. Gonna lift those up so he can catch up with his army and kill those things off, I think. Yeah. Get a little extra damage. Nice. Really solid creep spread from Root CatZ, which is really helpful. Getting that flying locust upgrade again. And the infestors as well. I'm about to do the most dangerous thing in the world. The attacks in this game, very dangerous and scary, but more dangerous than that, never mind. Holy crap. We have a Doom drop from a Zerg player, and this is awesome. There are swarm hosts involved. By the way, it takes 2 swarm hosts at point blank range to kill a Nexus. That's right, it takes 2. Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, I love this. Love the unit retention. He drops everything, comes in, he's wiping everything out. Harstem caught way out of position, and what does he do? He attempts to save the swarm hosts, which can't do anything for another 60 seconds anyways. Perfect. Perfecto. Lots of the tech going to be taken out. Cybernetics core still going to remain in the up position. And in the meantime, using that positioning to take out this base as well. Really cool positioning play here. Comes in, drops. Whole army of Harstem gets pulled to the left. What does he do? Goes to the right, takes out this base. He might even be able to get some significant damage done over at this base. It may be a little bit too late, but... Oh man, some Ravager shots over there would have been devastating. Absolutely devastating. It looks like he still has a chance to kill off his Nexus, though. And keep in mind, this is the really important Nexus. This is his last hope. I think Root CatZ is going to be finishing this game out relatively soon. Without this base, Harstem is going to be put into a terrible position. He's going to have to make perfect use of this army if he loses his base. And there it goes. All right. Here is the crazy moment we're in, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. Harstem is in huge trouble economically. He's in pretty big trouble tech-wise, and he's in pretty big trouble... Alright, Harstem is in big trouble. Overall, he has to make use of this army now. He has to do something with it now, and he has to be incredibly efficient. Any sort of inefficiencies are going to matter way more than they would in any other situation because his follow-up is relatively non-existent. Here's a pretty big engagement. We have some locusts coming down. The fungals are there. No follow-up Ravager shots, but he's going to be retreating into this section. The army for CatZ is doing a move command across the army for Harstem. That is not going to work out too well. I don't know if he's going for the... Wow, that was a really big pickup. That was really something that Harstem needed badly at that point in time. I don't think he's even attempting to... take another expansion. He's just going for it. He traps these units over here. He's going to kill them off. He's still got that observer, so no problems with detection. And he's really all right. He's really going to have to make this count really fast because army supplies, while they're in the favor of Harstem at this moment, they're going to be more and more in the favor of CatZ as things go on. He really has to get going and start destroying stuff. Sort of waffling around here in the middle waiting for the right engagement is, don't know if it's going to work. He really needs to get something done, and here we go. He's walking to a bit of a concave. The Banelings are up in the front. They do get a lot of good hits off, and he's taking a lot of free damage during this retreat. He can't really afford to retreat right now. He does manage to pull back. The plan was to use the storms, and that worked out relatively well. But if you can see in the production tab, nothing is happening but micro. Some really nice storms. He does lose most of his Templar, if not all of them. And that looks like it's going to be the end of the army of Harstem, who will never, ever give up. He's going to go in. The army of Harstem is defeated. However, there are units left that are still loyal to the cause. These two Immortals and Observer have decided they will go on in the stead of the dead army. They'll be surrounded and they will fight. The Phoenix come in, but to no avail. CatZ is victorious, and he wins this show match, securing $200 into his dirty esports money pocket, and Harstem winning the 100 for being a good sport and playing along. Thank you all for joining in, tuning, hanging out, etc. The final score is 4-2 CatZ. See you guys next time.